The tax, which will be paid for the purpose of education, is not more than the 1,000th part of what will be paid to kings, priests, and nobles who will rise up among us if we leave the people in ignorance. Thomas Jefferson. If you want to get laid, go to college. If you want an education, go to the library. Frank Zappa. Education is dangerous. Every educated person is a future enemy. Hermann Goering. Your tax dollars are being used to pay for grade school classes that teach our children that cannibalism, wife swapping, and the murder of infants and the elderly are acceptable behavior. Jesse Helms. I asked Mom if I was a gifted child. She said they certainly wouldn't have paid for me. Calvin, from Calvin and Hobbes. When I think about all the crap I learned in high school, it's a wonder I can think at all. Paul Simon. Ideas are more powerful than guns. We would not let our enemies have guns. Why should we let them have ideas? Joseph Stalin. Rarely is the question asked, is our children learning? George W. Bush. Shit's a conspiracy. Think about it. I mean, what politician has ever run for office without claiming that education wasn't a top priority? Now name me a politician that's delivered on that promise. Shit's ridiculous. Overcrowded classrooms, of course. The solution? Hire more teachers, of course. But wait a minute. We don't have the money. That's right, the wealthiest country on the planet doesn't have the money to properly educate most of its children. Hey, even if we did have the money, how can you possibly attract competent individuals to the field of education when the starting salary for a secondary school teacher in the city of Chicago is about $40,000 a year? Can you even live on that? Sure, just not terribly well. Plus, why take on a job as challenging as being an educator when you can get an easy office gig for about the same bread? Shit's true. The Chicago Tribune reported recently that ExxonMobil Corporation amassed a stunning $36.1 billion profit in 2005. $36.1 billion. That's the largest single-year profit ever for a U.S. company. $36.1 billion. God bless them. Oh, by the way, that same year, our elected representatives in Washington voted to give Exxon and other huge energy corporations a $14.6 billion package of tax breaks that did nothing to provide short-term or long-term relief at the pumps for U.S. families who are currently paying record gas prices. Shit's ironic. $14.6 billion lavished on the Exxons of the world. Meanwhile, with college tuition skyrocketing, the federal government slashes student loans by more than $14 billion. This includes raising student loan interest rate caps and raising interest rates and fees on student borrowers who consolidate their loans. Did I mention that Exxon made $36.1 billion fucking dollars last year? Shit's amazing. Did you know that slaves weren't allowed to learn how to read? I guess ignorance makes folks a bit more docile. I guess ignorance makes folks a bit more manageable. And I guess ignorance, if you have no idea of that to which you are entitled, will make you less likely to take a stand and demand that which is rightfully yours. Ignorance is... As long as the lights come on when you flip the switch, and as long as the water flows when you turn on the tap, and as long as Desperate Housewives isn't preempted, and as long as we get wall-to-wall news coverage of Scott and Lacey, and Charles and Camilla, and Ben and J-Lo, and Brad and Jen, and Brad and Angelina, and Nick and Jessica, and Kevin and Brittany and her vagina, Paris and her vagina, Lindsay and her vagina, and of course that crazy-ass Reverend Wright. Bliss. Shit's the key. Hermann Goering said education is dangerous, and that every educated person is a future enemy. Man, those high-ranking Nazis, man, they are always good for a chuckle. Now wait a minute, what did Goering mean by that? What if he was on to something? I mean, of whom or what is the educated person the enemy? The enemy of power? The enemy of greed, of injustice, of racism, of sexism, of anti-Semitism, homophobia, xenophobia, barachnophobia? Is education the enemy of fear and everything else that divides and separates we the people? Pardon my cynicism. Pardon my paranoia. I'll just get my tinfoil hat and see myself out. Shit.